Hi guys, welcome to Counterpoints. My name is Connor, and today we're going to be breaking down Helsreach. It follows Reclusiar Grimaldus of the Black Templars and his squad during the Third War for Armageddon, and it is a classic, emotional, and violent project that really jump-started the fan animation community. This episode is brought to you by Mastermind Models and Miniatures and Hawkins & Company. Mastermind Models and Minis is an insanely talented paint studio out of Huntsville, Alabama who do commissions, so if your pile of shame is weighing you down, be sure to check them out in the description below, and be sure to tell them that we sent you. Hawkins & Company is a veteran-owned leather-making firm using the best American-made materials to create the finest handmade wallets available. Coming in classic bifold, trucker, and biker builds with a variety of patterns and insignias, all made from leather sourced from one of America's last tanneries. So if your wallet is starting to show its age, buy a rugged, beautiful, American-made piece of art from Hawkins & Company and use coupon code Counterpoints for 15% off.
I am Grimaldus, Reclusiar of the Helsreach Crusade. I am Colonel Saren of the 101st Steel Legion and overall commander of the Imperial Guard forces defending the Hive. Muted clicks could be heard every few seconds from the helms of the knights standing closest to him. Saren knew full well they were speaking with each other over a shared Vox channel. He didn't like it. Not at all. Who are these others? I would meet every commander of this hive, if they are present. They are present, sir. Reclusiar. Not sir. As you wish, Reclusiar. This is Syria Tyro, Adjutant Quintus to General Kurov. Commissar Falkov of my command staff. This is Major Mordecai Riken, Second Officer of the 101st and XO of the City Defense. Commander Corton Barasath of the Imperial 5082nd Naval Wing. A pleasure to serve with the Black Templars again. You have served with the Knights of Dawn before. I have personally, 9 years ago on Dathax, and the 5082s have on no fewer than 4 separate occasions. 16 of our fighters are marked with the Heraldic Cross, with permission given by Marshal Tarrason of the Dathax Crusade. I am honored, Barasath. The Most Honorable Moderati Primus Valien Casimir of the Legio Invigilata, crewman of the Blessed Engine Storm Herald. Moderati, you speak with the voice of your legion? A full battle group. I am the voice of Princeps Majoris Zaha Mancion. The rest of Invigilata is committed to other engagements. Fortune favors us that you still remain. We have much to discuss. Indeed we do. This way, if you please.
It is difficult to track all of the names and faces, but Colonel Saren is the overall commander of Imperial Forces of the Hive and a member of the Steel Legion. Syria Tyro is the 5th adjutant to General Kurov, making her the liaison to the main command and their ears. Commissar Falkov is in charge of the morale of Imperial forces in the Hive and has de facto authority to execute anyone not performing their duties properly. Major Mordecai Riken, the executive officer, would be Colonel Saren's logistician. While it's Syria Tyro's job to coordinate the Hive with the overall effort and Colonel Saren's job to come up with the strategy for the Hive, it is Major Riken's job to delegate those visions and actually execute them, hence the title. Perhaps most importantly, but least used in this series, is Commander Corton Barasath of the Naval Wing. In actual warfare, having air superiority can be a huge asset, and the Imperial Navy boasts not just a host of capital ships, but also void-capable bombers, fighters, and close air support strike craft. Armageddon was one of the most fraught aerial campaigns in Imperial history, innovating new technology and tactics to help bring the orcs down. The last introduced is Moderati Valio Casimir of the Titan Storm Herald. Titans are monstrous war machines capable of turning the tides of any battle. A Titan walking in defense of the Hive would be worth many times its number of the enemy. Which brings us to the divisions. Highlighted by Colonel Saren's dislike of the close Vox chatter, there is a rift between all the branches. While they all serve the Emperor of Mankind and his Imperium, they have all been divided against each other to prevent another catastrophic civil war similar to the Horus Heresy. The gulf between the transhuman Astartes and Imperial Guard is huge, with the Astartes seen as demigods. The Imperial Navy and Army are prohibited from intermingling command because while controlling the skies and bringing wrath down on the enemy forces is important, it's not as important as preventing system-wide rebellions. Much of the book series God's Ghosts explore the politics and divisions of command, exploring in frustrating detail the egos and choices that cost lives, and the heroic warriors who face down terrible odds anyways.
A city. I am in command of a city. Preparations have been underway for months, but estimates pit the great enemy arriving in system within a handful of days. The hours pass in a blur of statistical outlays, charts, hololithic projections, and graphs. The food supplies for the entire city. Ration projections, sustainable food ration planning, unsustainable food ration planning, with appended lists of estimated sacrificial casualties. Estimates of disease once the city is shelled and civilian casualties are too heavy to be dealt with efficiently. Types of disease, symptoms, severity, risk of contagion, compatibility with the Orc genus. Imperial Guard numbers. Throne what numbers? Regiments, their officers, their live fire training accuracy records, their citations, their shames, their moments of greatest glory and ignominy in a host of distant worlds. The Guard figures alone take 2 days to file through. And this, they say, is merely the overview. Coastal defenses, walls and turrets and anti-air towers, and trade requirements and union complaints and petitions arguing over docking rights and warehouses appropriated as barracks for soldiers and complaints from merchants and dock officers and... oh... And I endure this for 9 days. 9 days. What is that? Throne of the God Emperor. People of Hive Helsreach, do not be alarmed. The enemy fleet has translated in system. The might of Battlefleet Armageddon and the greatest Astartes fleet in Imperial history stands between our world and the foe's forces. Maintain your daily rites of faith. Trust in the God Emperor of mankind. That is all. You. Hail the Black Templar flagship Eternal Crusader immediately. My lord, I am coordinated... Do it! Now! Yes, my lord. A moment, please. The Eternal Crusader is making ready to engage the enemy fleet. I can send a message, but their two-way communications are in lockdown without the proper command codes. Do you have the codes, my lord? I am being a fool. My fury is blinding me to my sworn duty. I have the codes, but this is not an emergency. Simply send the following message to their incoming logs with no need for a reply. Fight well, brothers. Sent, Lord. My thanks. Forgive me a moment's cola. We have a war to plan. Until their dying nights, the warriors of the Helsreach Crusade bore their lamentations and rage with all the dignity that could be expected of them. But it was no easy feat. No easy feat to be consigned to a city of several million frightened souls, while above the stained clouds, hundreds upon hundreds of their battle brothers were carving their glory from the steel and flesh of an ancient and hated foe. The Black Templars across the city looked skyward, as if their helms' red eye lenses could pierce the wretched clouds and see the holy war above. Give the order to Imperial forces throughout Helsreach. Martial law is in immediate effect. Seal the city.
Now, I was hesitant to watch Helsreach despite tons of people recommending it, as the hand-drawn animation was a bit jarring, and when I scanned through it at first, I did not see many action sequences. However, as humble a plot point as it is, the scene discussing logistics sucked me right in. When I was in the Marine Corps, I worked in logistics and realized how important the network of suppliers providing beans, bullets, and band-aids to the American Empire was. Without uniforms and protective gear, troops freeze, burn, and get injured. Without weapons and ammunition, they can't fight. Without fuel, their vehicles are useless. Without vehicles, troops are left marching across the battlefield and arrive to the fight exhausted. Without communications gear, troops can be outflanked, encircled, and destroyed. Warhammer 40,000 is often focused on the blood and violence of future warfare, but it's often joked that Space Marines have seemingly endless ammunition despite having almost none visibly stored. This is something that would have to be fixed if we're to take this art seriously, and to see an artist addressing this head-on is refreshing. To quote General Omar Bradley, "Amateurs talk strategy, professionals talk logistics." If food isn't rationed, starvation can lead to disease and rebellion. If food is rationed too aggressively, then you may unnecessarily starve your troops before they die in battle anyway. Saving civilians may not be necessary, but it will boost troop morale. Disease, if unchecked, can kill as many troops as the bullets and blades of the enemy, and for most of human history, this was true. The Imperial Guard forces and their efficiency and personalities is required knowledge so you know how to deploy them appropriately. Vehicle support is crucial to make sure that defensive emplacements can be reinforced and withdrawn from as needed. Anti-air and anti-ground weapons can help turn the tide and will run as long as there's ammunition to feed them. The merchants, while being only a footnote, are a part of the economy separate from the war machine. Their wares, from simple grain to personal transports, can be leveraged during the crisis. The first book in the Eisenhorn series does an excellent job describing the imperial peacetime economy, if there ever were such a thing. Grimaldus being briefed and presumably making decisions for a whole 9 days, while tiresome, is part of the duties of an Astartes. Space Marines are psycho-indoctrinated not just in the art of warfare, but also how to command spaceships and even planets. It is alluded to in the Horus Heresy book series that one day the Imperium would not need the Space Marines, and some Primarchs were making plans for their warriors in peacetime. The Ultramarines in particular were noted as training their troops for diplomacy as much as warfare. Grimaldus' rage at being abandoned on Helsreach causes him to snap on his human counterparts, which is alarming. While Astartes do fight for the Emperor, being in a room with an enraged berserker warrior who can kill everyone in a matter of moments is as much a cause for fear as it is respect. The lamentations and rage of the Squad Grimaldus is noted as while the Reclusiarch is bitter about his fate, the others are jealous of their brothers engaging in void warfare.
"3 days. In 3 days, they will decide if they are to come to our aid or deploy along the Hemlock River with the rest of their legion. There's a chance they will not even walk in our defense. So it seems. I am going to the view tower. Is the Moderati Primus still within the hive? Yes, Reclusiarch. Tell him to meet me there. Be polite, but do not ask. Tell him. This is the greatest of Armageddon's port cities. We are about to be assaulted by the largest green-skin breed Xenos invasion ever endured by the Imperium of Man. We must have Titans, Casimir. I am aware of your need. My need. It is the Hive's need. Armageddon's need. As you say, the Hive's need, but I am not the Princeps Majoris. I report on the Hive's defenses to her, and the decision is hers to make. The Invigilata has received strong petitions from other cities and other forces. I must speak with her. If you wish, I could perhaps arrange a conversation over the Vox. But I am here, a man of not inconsiderable station myself, to show that Invigilata is earnest in its dealings with you. I appreciate that. I am not blind to your rank. Tell me, Moderati, is it permissible to speak with your Princeps Majoris in person? No, Reclusiac. That would be a violation of Invigilata tradition. Your objection is noted, and duly ignored. What? Artarian, ready the Land Raider. We're going out into the wastelands.
Raven seen flying overhead is an omen of fate and death. Invigilata is dividing its forces amongst the many petitions, knowing that with each choice made seals the fates of millions of lives. Reclusiarch Grimaldus pays honor to the Moderati's rank, but knows that without the Titans, Helsreach is doomed. He therefore sets out on an unsanctioned mission of his own. Now, if you like my breakdowns, like, share, and subscribe, and ring the bell so you see whenever new content drops. Comment down below and feel free to fight it out in the comments sections over lore and narrative interpretations. If you can't think of anything to say, then type in comment for the comment gods. I will salute you in real life with an Aquila, but I will reply with an 07 in the comments section saluting you for your service. Become a YouTube or Patreon member to help support the channel, and check out our sponsors. I appreciate you. I'll catch you in the next one. Until the end. Special thanks to Ken, General Ballsack, Trigger Warning, D. Boone, Tom Guthrie, Gnome Todd, Vokes, Joe Vasquez, NYB, Trucking for America, Remy LeBeau, Word Smith Andy, Weld QC John, Taylor M, Nuke, James Hansen, Butters, Sigmar's Son, The Talented X, Trippy Liquids, Aircraft Sparky, Dylan Verdea, Stephanie Luminous, Tam 10, Sport Brand, Andrew Coey, Flippant Hubris, Drusty, Hippopota T, Happy Rogue, Christian Stafford, Michael Cranston, Skyanon, Enclave Operator, It's Harold, Jaeger Bradley, Sir Pubert, Eagle Watch 123, Bizood, Flaccid Phoenix, TSG Comics, Fezzles, Diogenes, Crabs Go Pinch, Fondue, Drazar, Lucifer the Doberman, Tango Hotel, Mitchell Johnson, Sir Liamson, John, Poofy, Leo Whitman, Froggy Style, Adrian, Azri, Cole G, Grassroots Hegemon, Name, Sir Fortesque, M. Penner, Weekend Jail, Xart Logan, and Jam.